Hi, this is Richard Nicol with Nova Musik, Pittsburgh Modular. Today we're talking about modular synthesizers, but not the kind you play with a keyboard and some basic subtractive synthesis. We're going to do something a little different, a little more exciting, a little more fun. What we're going to do is have a drum machine. We're going to take a really nice sized modular synthesizer. This is just sort of a collection of modules that I thought was interesting. We put them all in a case, and now we're going to use them as a drum machine. So we've got a couple sounds going on. Get a real nice deep kick sound. The best way to do that is with our low-pass gate module. Now the low-pass gate module is, it's a couple things in one. It's a filter and a VCA together, intertwined. And when you're in low-pass gate mode and you ping it, you hit it with the gate, it just punches you real hard. A fantastic kick drum. So that's an easy way for a basis of a nice kick. Then you move on to the hi-hat. Well, hi-hat is essentially what we're doing here is just taking noise from our Toolbox, which is kind of a jack-of-all-trades module. We're taking the noise, running it through a high-pass filter, just to clean it up a little bit and give you just the crisp high end, and we're dumping that into the VCA, which we're controlling with our envelope module here. The envelope is sort of a complex ADSR envelope generator, so it gives you a little more leeway in how tight you can get it, how long you can get it, and then you have voltage control over all that. A very cool module on its own, but in the hi-hat situation it works very well. So that's dumping into the mixer with the kick drum, the low-pass gate kick drum, and then the last sound is the snare sound, which we're using our Symbiotic Waves. This is our dual digital oscillator, and it's 9-bit because we just wanted one more than 8-bit. So it's grimy and nasty and gnarly, but it's got a sound all its own. It doesn't sound lo-fi. It sort of sounds pissed in the best possible way I can think of. So we're running that guy into a VCA to turn it on and turn it off. Real nice sharp attack, so you sort of have a snare drum type attack. The output of that is going into our phase shifter. It's a 16-stage analog phase shifter. It's huge. It's just buttery and warm and bubbly and sort of wasted on the noisy snare drum sound, but fun anyway. It gives it some movement. That we're dumping then into our analog replicator, which is just, it's brilliant. It's an all analog delay. You have control over, obviously, the delay time, but it's different for analog because it goes from very short, 20 milliseconds, all the way up to 2.5 seconds. And at the shorter times, it's very clean, very pristine analog delay. And as you get longer, it gets grimier and dirtier and nastier, bringing in some mud and some grit, and you can hear the clock start to drip in, and it gets all aliasy. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. So as you add that in, you just add layers and layers and layers of this fun for the snare drum, mix that in with the other guys, and you have your drum. Now you need to control those somehow, so what we're using is our TimeRunner here. This module is essentially, the idea is take a clock divider. So you hit it with the clock, this guy, and you divide it by 2, by 4, by 8, by 16, but then the switches let you switch out the logic for each of those channels. It's all analog, so it runs very fast, and you can switch between the logic, which changes up the pattern. So as you're switching, you move around, you switch the channels, you actually change the pattern of the sequencer for each step. All that's voltage controllable, so you can have it running itself and rearranging itself and changing things in real time, but it controls the whole thing. It sounds great, and the fun thing is this is another thing you can do with modular synthesis. It's not just a keyboard. It can be anything you want it to be. Today we want to make drum sounds.